think next time someone has to remind me that I should record. Okay, now the recording is going on. Okay, now we were talking about NumPy broadcasting. Let's say that you have an array that is okay 20. Now you want to find all the numbers that are greater than 5. What you did was you gave array greater than 5. And what was the output here? Shaina, what was the output here?
10, 15, 20.
No. Think carefully. Let me run it for you. Okay. That import NumPy. Okay. Now two, 3, 5, 10, 15, and 10. Okay, I have my array here. I want to see the numbers which are greater than 5. I got Boolean outputs. Now is it clear to you, Shaina?
Yes, yes, sir.
But this is not the output I was looking for. I wanted the numbers. What I did was I passed this inside my, I will pass this function back into my array. Then I got all the true values as my output. So wherever the condition was true, it outputted me the numbers. Okay. Now similarly, so this is nothing but your filters. This concept is called as filters. Okay. Similarly, and I request you not to forget this because this will be very important for you. You will be doing more of this in your data analysis also. Now coming to my, let me use the other one. Coming to my data frame, I need all the people who are having age more than 18. Okay. What I do is, Rahul, why don't you help me on this? Rahul, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I need to take out the, I need to filter out this data frame for people who are aged more than 18. Okay.
Age is more than 18.
More than 18. 18. Okay.
Yes.
More than 18. So by looking at this data frame, since this data frame is very small, you can say that Rick and Summer are the only people who are older. Okay. But if you have a data frame, let's say that you have 700 rows or 800 rows, you can't go and pinpoint it, right?
Yes, sir.
So what you have to do is you have to use this particular filter, what I explained to you. Now, how do I begin with?
People understood.
I start with fetching my data frame, and more specifically, I want to fetch my
Age.
column,
Age.
and I apply my
Greater than 18.
18. Okay, I get my true and false here. Is it different from what we learned in NumPy?
Similar to it.
It is similar to it. Only thing is this is a
The
data frame where you have numbers as well as your text. Now, but I don't want this data. I want my data frame. What I do is
So again, we pass the
pass this condition back into my data frame and I get my data.
Yes, but
Are
the
you with me?
indexing will be according to the Python indexing.
You don't have to break your head on indexing here
Yes, sir.
because you are applied a filter.
Yeah.
Let's
So
say
how
that
it
tomorrow
will
you
be
want to
original data, the same thing we get.
original data is here. Original data, I have not done anything to my original data.
Yeah, the values will be retained the same. Like the indexing also will be retained the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
There will not be any confusion on that.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All you want to do is, let's say that you have a huge data tomorrow. Okay. And let's say that you want to separate the data into two separate data frames. Let's say that you have a theory in mind. You have to test it. In order to test it, you only want the particular age group to be greater than 18. So you extract it. You extract it and you save it in a separate variable. Okay. Now you can test your theory on this. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Shaina, is it clear to you? And Samantha?
Yes, sir.
Now, let us move on to understanding one more powerful function. So before that, I want you guys to recall on your statistics what you learned. Okay. Now, let us work on the categorical data. Let's say that I have a function column called fruits, and I have apple. I have banana. I have cherry. Okay, and I have grapes. Now, tell me what are the descriptive statistics you can apply on this column. What statistics I can apply on this column?
Frequency thing, like apple is repeated twice.
One is
Repeated.
the frequency, yes. And the frequency of apple is
2.
2. Next. Next. The basic most, we had mean, median, mode. Mean and median used for your numerical data, whereas mode is used in your
Both.
yes. So I apply my mode. Now what is the mode in this?
Apple.
Apple. Next. You are interested to understand the count, right? What is the total count in this data? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
My count is 5. Now the fourth part, you might not be very much aware, but it is very handy when it comes to data analysis. That is to understand what are the unique values. What are the unique values here? One is your apple.
Banana.
You have banana.
Grapes.
You have cherry. And your grapes. Okay. Have you guys made a note of this? Frequency, mode, count, unique. These are the 4 statistics what you can apply on your categorical column. Give me a quick yes if you have made the notes. Shall I move on?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Samantha, shall I move on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, coming to numerical. Okay. I have a column called as age. The age could be 10, 12, 15, 17, 20. Now, what are the statistics I can apply here?
Mean, median, mode.
Correct. One is your mean. The second one is your median. Anyway, there are unique values here. You don't have to break your head on mode.
And range.
Range.
Okay. So before range, before understanding range, there are some other concepts.
Maximum, minimum.
Before that, yeah, I'll apply my minimum. I'll apply my maximum. Basic, I have my count. How many values are there? Correct?
Yes, sir. Unique.
No, that will go to categorical. No.
Ah, okay, sir.
What will you do with understanding unique value? All are unique.
Yeah.
You have your percentiles. 25%, 50%.
75.
You gave me minimum and maximum. You've almost forgot this. 75%. Correct? 100% is also. Yeah. Once you have this, you can go with your
Box.
IQR and range. Now, if I give you a huge data, okay, I'm going to give you a huge data. Let's say that it is having categorical column, 12 categorical columns and 28 numerical columns. Okay, I give you an Excel sheet of this particular data. Okay, how long will it take for you to apply these concepts, these statistical concepts? It will be a lot of time, right? Each and every column you have to do your mean, you have to median, you have to, before doing everything, you have to segregate your numerical columns, your categorical columns. Correct? Are you guys with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So it is a very time consuming process. So at the end of the day, if you make a small mistake in one of the columns, that's going to ruin all your data, all your analysis. But in Python, I have one more strong, powerful function called dot describe. Okay, I have this function called dot describe, and I have a function that is here. I have a function called dot describe. Okay, I give include equal to all, which specifies that I want numerical as well as categorical. If I don't specify include equal to all, it basically gives me only the output of my numerical. Okay. Now, it took me hardly 5 seconds to write this single line of code, and I have all my inputs. So basically, if you see the data, or let's say that I will use this data. Okay, you have more columns now. Now you had 2 categorical columns. Okay, focus on the categorical columns. You have 2 categorical columns, and all the details of categorical columns has been mentioned here. Sorry. Your count, your unique, your top, frequency. This is on your categorical. and this is for your numerical. You get non-values because this column is categorical column. Name column is categorical. You don't get any output here. Whereas here, you don't get anything. It gives you the count, but here count interprets that you understand whether there are any missing values or not. Okay. Now, count gives you that how many unique values are there, how many rows of data are there. Unique gives you if the number of values are repeated or not. It is only 3 here. Why it is only 3 over there? Because O positive is repeated. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the top is summer. Why? Why does it take top as summer in names? Frankly speaking, you don't have to break your head down that. Okay, because here all the names are unique. There are no repeated values. Whereas here you have O plus repeated 2 times. Okay, it is repeated 2 times, so that's the reason why you can consider this as a top, because it is repeated 2 times. And how many times it is repeated? 2 times. Here it could be anything because it is the frequency is 1. There are 4 elements. The frequency of each element is 1. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir. Sir, top is same as mode, right?
Top is same as mode. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now coming to the numerical, you have your mean here. You have your standard deviation. You have your minimum value. You have 25th value. You have 50th percentile. You have 75th percentile. You have your max. Correct? Correct?
Sir,
Yes, Rahul.
frequency will give the frequency of only the mode value, sir.
Frequency, yeah, you can give you the mode value, no, which is the most repeated.
Yeah. So since O positive is repeated twice, they have given frequency as 2.
2, yes.
Okay.
It is what will be give which element has most repeated most number of times. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now coming to unique, why do you need unique in your data?
For tabular columns to get the names.
Think practically, why do you need unique? Let's say that I have iPhone, I have Xiaomi, I have OnePlus. Okay, I need to see what is the sales for each and every phone. That is when you need the function unique. Correct? Shopkeeper has having 3 varieties of phones. He wants to see which phone is doing the best. That is when you see unique, to understand what are the varieties of phones he is selling. Okay. Now, which part of your numerical column helps you divide and analyze your data? Any guesses? This right? Your minimum to your maximum. I want to analyze my quarter-wise distribution. This is my quarter 1. This is my quarter 2. This is my quarter 3. This is my quarter 4. correct? If you want to draw a box plot, it is right here, correct? Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, do you really have to draw a particular plot to understand how the data distribution is? You can just understand everything with this particular function. You can see how the distribution is here, 10 to 16. You have 6 counts. 25 to 50, how many counts you have? You have almost 16 counts. Again, 50 to 48, you have 16 counts. Again, 48 to 60, how many counts you have?
12.
12 counts. Now, how the distribution of your data is? First, you have something like this. It is skewed. It is skewed. How? It is right skewed. But you can see your median here, 31.5. What is your mean here? Not so much. It is almost towards the center only. Correct?
Yes, sir.
You don't need any particular graph to describe how your data is. You just one particular function, it describes everything. All your details is everything in your head. So you took almost 4 classes only to understand statistics, and in Python, all your 4 classes are combined into one particular line of code. Now, do you guys agree that Python is very powerful?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, coming to top, why do you think top is necessary? Coming to this function top, Rahul said that top is nothing but my mode. Why do you think is necessary?
To find the maximum probability or something.
No. Don't make it complicated.
Okay, sir.
I have an apartment here. Okay. I have flat 1, Bengali stays. There is a Bengali residing in flat 1, Bengali family. Flat 2, again Bengali. Flat 3, Tamil. Flat 4, again Bengali. Flat 5, again Bengali. Flat 6, I have missing. What is the mode here? What is the top? What is the mode here?
Bengali.
Mode is Bengali. You just
Bengali.
replace it here. Correct? So when you note the mode is Bengali, what you have to do is, since this column has a missing value here, this row is having a missing value, you just replace Bengali here with missing value. So oftentimes we can use mode as a solution to replace your missing values. Okay. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now it's already 12:13. Let's take a small 10 minutes of break. Let's resume at 12:20. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Let's take a break and continue. Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
What about others?
Yes, sir.
Rahul?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, coming to standard deviation. Okay. So I'll use a different example for you to explain standard deviation. Let's say that I have 100 students. Okay. And I have math, physics, and geography. I have all the marks here. And let's say that the standard deviation is for students who are studying maths and scored the marks in your exam. So it is 10.2, here it is 1.7, and here it is 27. Now, if I ask you a question, you have only this data. If I ask you a question, in which subject a lot of students understood and a lot of students did not understand, what would be your answer be? Are you guys clear on the question?
So could you please repeat?
Okay, I have 100 students in my class, and I take the exam data and I calculate the standard deviation. For math it is 10.2, for physics it's 17, and for geography it is 27. Okay. Now, in
Yes.
which subject lot of students have understood the subject and lot did not understand?
Physics, sir. Because there is no much variation.
It is no, okay. Your argument said is Rahul says it's physics. What about Shaina and Samantha?
Physics.
Okay. And Shaina? So when you use standard deviation to compare your data, so if standard deviation low, it means that people who got, who got score that are similar in nature, correct?
Yes, sir.
Because the
Yes,
scores
sir.
are not
Variation.
varying so much. The scores are not varying so much here. The scores are varying very moderately, but the score is varying too much here. The scores are all over the place. Many people have scored 20, 25, 30. Some have scored 40, 50, 60, 90. There is a lot of variation here. So the question was once again, in which subject lot of students understood and lot did not understand? That means geography is the right answer, correct? The scores were all over the place. The standard deviation has to be high. Are you guys clear?
Yes, sir.
So you're looking for extreme behavior here. Now, in which subject would you feel that you have to replace the teacher?
Maybe geography only, sir. Because lot of variation is there in the marks.
Yeah, geography.
The one point here you're missing is, if the standard deviation is 1.7, can you justify your statement on this? The data is not sufficient. If the standard deviation is 1.7, that means the scores are very close to each other. It could be 99, 98, 92, or it could be 19, 20, 21, like that. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So you have to introduce a small concept called as your average score. Only by using standard deviation, you cannot decide what is the data is. Once you have your average score, only then you can decide. Let's say that the average score in math is 37, physics is 95, and geography is 65. Now, what could be your decision? Like which teacher you would like to replace?
Math.
Correct. Okay. Are you guys getting the broader perspective of data?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next aspect of Python pandas is that you can even plot charts. Okay. How do you do is you select your column, you give dot plot, and in kind you specify the chart. Okay. It could be line or kind is a string. You have to define a string inside the parenthesis. It could be line, it could be bar, it could be bar, horizontal bar plot, it could be histograph, it could be box, it could be a KDE plot. Okay. What is KDE? Kernel distribution estimation. That is nothing but your normal distribution. I don't know whether it will plot or not. Let's see. Why is it taking so much? Okay. But anyway, don't break your head on the plots, because we have a separate section for plots. We are going to cover all the plots. Okay. This is just to give you an idea that pandas are more powerful, that it doesn't just give you numeric analysis, it will also give you charts as well. But we have more powerful modules for charts like Matplotlib and Seaborn, where you will be learning in detail about the plots. Okay. Now coming to the indexing in Python, we have already covered your log and ilog functions. But we will discuss some part of data analysis in this particular section. Okay. So now let's start with this supermarkets data. I have a data from my GitHub. I take this data. Okay. Now you can see that in the data there is already an ID column available. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if you have an ID column already available, what you do is, instead of using your Python defined ID, you can convert this into a index. What I do is set underscore index. I specify the column, which column I want to specify as an index. Okay. Now when I run this, I have this data frame where ID is the index and all the data available in the columns. What do I do next? What do I do next? First part, your data analysis, EDA, why am I writing it ulta? EDA stands for exploratory data analysis. Okay. The objective of your this particular term is to learn to do EDA thoroughly. The first estimation of data analysis, what you do is, first you do is import all the packages. Now, how many packages you have learned? Shaina?
2.
2 packages. The first is NumPy. Second one is your
And
pandas. Okay. And you're going to learn more packages. The first point, what you're going to do is you're going to import all the packages. The second point, what you're going to do is you're going to import your data. Okay. So after importing your data, what you're going to do in the third package, you're going to get the feel of your data. What is the first point to know the feel of the data? You use dot head. You import your data, you use dot head. Let's say that you want to see around 5 columns. You see how the behavior of the first 5 columns looks like. You can use dot head, you can use dot tail to understand. This is for the first 5 columns, this is for your last 5 columns. Or you can specify how many columns you would like to see. After that, what you do is you're going to do dot info. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
Sir.
Then you see dot describe. Okay. Make a note of this. Shall I erase? Shall I erase this? Rahul,
Yes, sir. Done.
shall I erase?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I import the data. I view first 5 rows. I set my index. Okay. After setting the index, I view once again. Let's say that I want to view only the 3 rows here. Okay. After that, I use dot info. Okay. Now, Samantha,
Yes, sir.
what are the things you can observe from dot info here?
The data type,
There is data type,
there's volume, size,
there is
total
size.
number.
How many columns do I have?
6,
6 columns. Okay. How many rows do I have?
1. Sorry,
That is also 6.
6.
Okay. And I can see the different data types of each and every column. Do I have any missing values here?
No, sir.
No missing values. Yes, good. Okay. Now, now, when you have ID numerical, if I want to use iLog, okay, if I want to use iLog, let's say I want to extract this data, okay, using lock and iLog. Who can give me the information? I want to extract this information using lock and iLog. How do I do it? Let me begin with iLog. Okay. How do I specify iLog? Rahul?
The ID number.
Yeah, iLog for ID number. How do I start? I want to extract 3, 4, 5.
3 to 6.
That is where you're confused. See, ilog stands for your Python index, not your human defined index. Now this ID column, it came from my data. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So basically what you're saying is log. Let's say that log, you want to take it from 3 to 5.
6.
For
Okay. Lock. So 3 to 5.
correct, 3 to 5. And if you give ilog here, okay, so if I specify 3, it will be 0, 1, 2, 3. It will start from
So
4.
Fourth and fifth.
So what you have to do is 0, 1, 2. You start from 2, ends to 5. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Shaina and Samantha, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's say that in column, you want to access only the address and state. How would you do that? For 3 and 3, 4, 5 data, I want to access only the address and state. Start from 3, I'll end with 5. I have my data here. Okay. How do I access? I have to specify
The column name.
column name, address.
2.
Okay. And
So we can give address comma state, right?
correct. If I give from address to state, I get, if I give a colon here, I
It
get
will
from
give
address till state.
Yeah.
If I give a comma here, too many indexes.
We have to use another square bracket, sir.
No. I think that will be complicated. Yeah. Okay. Is it guys clear to you on indexing part using ilog and log?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there is one more concept called ilog is clear, log is clear. Okay. There is one more concept called as excess. Okay. Excess is very powerful. Later down the line, I'm going to teach you this as well. Okay. Now, before learning excess, let us learn merging. Okay. Merging, concatenating, and appending. I have the two data here. I have df1 and I have df2. Okay. I'll give a small backstory on this. Now, before we start with this data frame, okay, let's say that I need to collect some student details. Okay, I need to collect some student details and I ask Shaina, Samantha, okay, to get the details. Okay, let's say that I asked Shaina to collect the students with the roll number 1 to 20 and I ask Samantha from 21 to 40. Okay. So the data I need is the name of the student, the age, and the subject. subject what they are studying. Now I have two data. Okay, I get two particular data here. Ultimately, I need a data from 1 to 40 in a single data frame. How do I merge it? Should I do row wise or should I do column wise? Are you guys clear on the question? Rahul,
Yes, sir.
are you clear on the question?
Yes, sir. Names will be the column name, columns and
Correct. I asked Shaina to collect details of students from roll number 1 to 20 and Samantha collected from 21 to 40. Okay. Now I have two particular data frames because they collected separately and I have two individual separate data. Let's say this is DF1, this is DF2. But all I need is one particular data frame where all the details are in one particular column, one particular table. How do I do that? Is by merging. Merging, okay. But how do I have to merge? Should I do row wise merging? Should I do column wise merging?
the one data frame below the.
Yes, that is row wise. I have to do row wise merging, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I have a function called as concat. Okay. All I need to do is pd dot concat. PD stands for
Pandas.
pandas. PD dot concat and I specify df1, df2, and for row wise, what is the axis?
0.
Axis equal to 0. That's all. The two data frames will be merged into one data frame. Okay. Now, okay, see, I have two data frames. I use pd.concat axis equal to 0. Okay, I get this data frame. Okay, but there is a trick here. Can someone tell me what's the trick?
To make the IDs, sir.
There is a small trick here. If you see carefully, the index, it starts from 0 here.
Yes,
Correct?
sir.
So Panda still trying to tell you that these are two separate data frames. I have merged it. Pandas is still trying to say that.
Okay, sir.
It is trying to tell you that it is the combination of two separate data frames. It has merged. Okay. But the user already knows that and you want to get rid of this. You need to have indexes in a continuous format. What you do is, there is a function called ignore index equal to true and you run it. Now indexes are continuous. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now, similarly, if I want to do column wise, all I have to do is axis equal to 1 and I get my data set in column wise. Okay. I get my data in column wise. Now, okay, now one more concept. Let's say now China is collecting the students with of students marks and their class, whereas Samantha is collecting their age, weight and height. Okay. How do I merge these two data?
Through column.
Column wise.
Column wise. That is x is equal to
1.
1. Okay. This is clear to you. But now, let's say, when you see the data, no? When you see the data, how they are collected, here the roll number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whereas here the roll number is 5, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay. If you give axis equal to 1, this data gets migrated to this to this. But that is not the requirement you are looking for, right?
Yes, sir.
Because wrong roll number details gets merged with each other. Correct? So now, what is the option here? The only option is you have to match with respect to roll numbers. Match it using roll numbers. And that is where there is a concept called as joins. Okay. There's a concept called as joins. If you know SQL, you must be aware of this. How many of you know SQL? If you don't know SQL, do not have to break your head. There is a concept called as joins that will come into picture here. Okay. Now, I have two data frames here. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have two data frames here. Okay. So, subject 1, subject 2. These are interns. Okay. These are interns. So this is a data frame of a company. Subject 1, subject 2 are interns. 3, 4, 5 are full-time employees. Okay. If you want, you can make a note of this data in your book also, because if you understand the data, only then you will understand this concept. Okay. Now 3, 4, 5 once again, full-time employees, and 6, 7 are, let's say, vendors. Okay. Now, the company concept is, the company has a policy that is, if you are an intern, you won't get department ID. Okay. For full time, you get department ID. For full time, you have department ID. If you are an intern, you don't get department ID. And if you are a vendor, okay, you only have department ID. You don't get employee name, employee ID and all. You only have department ID. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you made a note? Now, the CEO will come to you. Okay. Now the CEO wants the detail of employees and the department details of. The CEO says that he wants the details of all details as well as the CEO wants the details of all the employees, okay, and the departments, okay, in a single table. Okay. He wants employee details and their department details in a single table. Okay. If I join these two, if I merge these two, what will happen to the intern? Basically, CEO is not looking for intern data, right?
Yes, sir.
So basically what he is looking for is, he is looking for this. Here you have the employee details, here you have the department details.
Department.
He wants the detail of all the employees with respect to all the departments. He is looking for this. So in order to check that, we have a function called pd.merge. Earlier what we learned was pd.concat. You have pd.merge. You specify the left data frame, you specify the right data frame, and you want how are you going to merge? You are merging based on the subject. What it does is it will study both the data frames. It will take the common subjects here. Okay, these are common in both the table. It is going to merge the data of the two columns, the two data frames with respect to only this. So this is the common interest. This is your employee details and employee name, and this is your department name and department details. So all the overlapping values of 3, 4, 5 get merged. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what CEOs tell me? Now CEO says that after looking at the data, the CEO will tell that you know what, I want the list of all the employees and the department details. Even if they're not allotted to the department, it's fine, but I want the list of all the employees. Okay. Basically, he is interested to see all the interns plus all the full-time employees. Okay. In that case, your first table, he is interested to in everything with respect to your first data. And if you have something additional, from your second table, you merge it. If you don't have, that's fine. So CEO is interested in everything in your entire left table and the overlapping right table. Did you guys understand the concept?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I use the same function. I copied the same function and I introduce a keyword called as how. In keyword called how, I specify I want the merge to happen on the left. That means I want to retain the left column as it is, and whatever the overlapping elements that are found in the right column, that you can merge, and wherever there are no overlapping elements, you specify it as null values, that is nan. Okay. Now this is your left merge or left join. Okay. Basically, if I do a Venn diagram, the CEO is interested in everything, this whole data. Are you clear? Basically the left table and also the overlapping part. Is it clear? Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So complete first table gets taken, and the overlapping part in the second table, wherever there are no values, it will replace with non values. Okay. Now Now, okay. Now the CEO is interested in departments. Okay. Now CEO says that I am interested in departments. I want to know what are the who are the people that are reporting in the department. That is, he is basically interested in the complete second column and the overlapping part of the, I mean, a complete second table and the overlapping part in the first table. Okay. If I draw, this chart, he is interested in this complete part, including the overlapping part. So what you do is, instead of left, you specify right. So what you get is, you get the complete left table. I mean, you get the complete right table. Okay. And you get the overlapping part of the left table and the small part with NaN values. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now the CEO says, you know what? I'm not getting the details properly. I want all the details. I want all the details of all the employees and also the departments. Now, who can tell me what the CEO is looking for?
The complete union.
Complete. He is looking for everything. Okay, that is nothing but A union B. So what you do is, you have a function called as outer join. Okay, you get everything. Basically, no. Basically, you get something like this. You get complete data of both your tables, followed by some NaN values where it doesn't overlap. Okay. So you have NaN values here, but both the tables has been merged with respect to all the subjects. So all the details of all the employees, whether they are interns or whether they are employees, even with respect to your vendors, everything is available here. Okay. Now this concept of joins can be stood through this chart, what I interpreted while explaining here. So you have your left join, you have your full outer. Left join is the one where you did it in the beginning. Okay. Inner joint is the one which you used the function concat. You use the function concat, correct? That is, yeah, no, sorry, not the concat. You use the function merge. You never specified how exactly you're going to merge, but you only specified on which column you're supposed to merge it. So this is nothing but your inner join. Outer join is where you did it at the end, where you have all the data of all your tables. Wherever there is no overlap, it will replace with NaN values. You have your left join, you have your right join. There are two more joins, that is left join if null value, that is only the left, that is nothing but A minus A intersection B, and this is nothing but B minus B intersection A. Are you guys with me?
So it's A minus B and B minus A, right?
Wait 1 minute.
In sets it is A minus B and B minus A.
This is A, this is B, this is
A
A
intersection B.
intersection B. Now what is this area? A minus,
The complete B we are removing from A.
correct, even the intersection part you are removing.
Yeah.
And in this case, this will be B minus A intersection B. Okay. These two are not so important. you can try to find out. Okay. This is a homework for you guys. You can try to find out how to get these values from your table. Basically, if you see the table 1,
That will be the first 2 rows, sir.
first 2 rows, you only want have to keep first 2 rows.
And here
Is
the
equal
last
to
2 rows.
correct. You only want to keep the details of your interns
Interns and vendors.
and vendors. This is a homework for you. You can try it out. Okay. All you have to do is you have to explore the merge. Okay. Now, I spoke to you regarding the conditions in data frame, correct? Through NumPy broadcasting. Do you guys remember? Just
Yes,
before
sir.
the break, we spoke about it.
Yes.
Let's
sir.
say that you
For the
want to,
Boolean data and all.
yes. Let's say that I have a data frame called market underscore df, where I have the details of all the shops, okay, located in different part of California, San Francisco, California, okay. And this is the address of each and every shop, okay. Now, if I want to take, filter the shops where their employees are more than 15, okay. All I have to do is first I need to take the employees column, filter it out more than greater than or equal to 15, pass it back to my original data frame, and I have my data. Okay. Is it clear to you guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's say that I want to pass 2 conditions into my data frame. Okay. The first condition would be to find the shops where the number of employees are more than 15, and the second condition would be to find the state where the state code will be this. Now I want to find, I have to give a condition, 2 conditions where the employees are more than 15 and the state code is this, that is 94119, where the state code matches CA 94119.
Not matches, right? Because there is not equal to.
Oh yeah, sorry, it doesn't match. Okay. Now, if you see it carefully, which are the cases? 15, 20, 25. Which are the ones that matches this condition? These are the only 2 where the employees are greater than 25 and the state code does not match 94119. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir. The intersection.
Intersection. Now, if I want to pass, I need to filter the data such that both my concepts should be true. So for that, I pass something called as AND function. Okay. You guys know about AND function, right?
Yes, sir.
where 1 and 0 is 0, 0 and 0 is 0, correct? And is something like a multiplication.
Yes, sir.
And is something like multiplication, where 1
Yes,
into
sir.
1 is 1, 1 into 0 or 0 into 1 is nothing but 0, even 0 into 0 is 0. Okay, this is AND function. Do you guys know about OR function?
Yes, sir.
What about others?
Yes, sir.
Samantha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what I do is I pass the both my condition inside a brackets and give an AND condition here, and I get my filtered data. Okay, are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The syntax is very clear. I have condition 1 in the bracket and condition 2 in the bracket, and I pass this into a data frame. Correct? Any doubts?
No, sir.
If I use OR here, how do I use OR? I use OR. What will be the condition? It will give everything, right?
Yes, sir.
It will give
Yes,
everything. Okay. So I think we can stop our class for today, and from the next class we can do multi-index data frame. I think we have a small topics of where you have multiple indexes. You have company as your index, even year as an index, and then followed by now we can do a data analysis on one tips data set, and we can discuss about a very important function called as group by. All that we can do in the next class, and after that we can start our charts, basically how to plot different charts in your Python. Okay, so from next class onwards, it's not like we are going to only discuss on small concepts. We will be directly discussing on your data analysis. Okay, if we are plotting any charts, what we have to do is we'll start with importing data frame. You're checking basic criteria like whether there are all the rows and columns present, whether there are some missing values. If there are any missing values, how do we replace them? How do we work on them? And followed by plotting the charts to view the different Python charts. Okay. Now, if you have any doubts, you can stay back. If you don't have any doubts, you can drop off.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shaina. Rahul, any doubts?
No, sir.
So,
Yes, Samantha.
actually, next Sunday we have some kind of get together in my house.
Okay.
My
Like,
sister
even
got
I
married.
can't attend, sir.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, my sister got married like 3 months ago, but then we were not able to invite everybody. So my dad was like inviting some people. So we have classes also. So is it possible to change the timings of the classes, or is it okay if I listen to the recording?
It is okay with me if you want to listen to the recording. That's not a problem. That is the next Sunday, right?
Yes.
sir.
Yeah.
October 3rd. Even I
October.
can't attend, sir.
Okay.
I have a meeting from 10 to 4 in church. There's a
How
event.
about we schedule it on Saturday?
Oh, yes, sir.
Saturday morning, I have classes, sir. Online class till 12. Saturday afternoon onwards.
Saturday is Gandhi Jayanti, Rahul.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Okay.
Holiday.
I forgot. Sir.
Yeah, that's what.
So we can keep, sir. On Saturday we can keep.
We can schedule it on Saturday,
Yes, sir. That'll be better.
and Sunday you can enjoy the weekend.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Same time, right? 11.
Or maybe so we can keep it on Saturday evening.
Yeah, anything is fine, sir.
Anything, sir.
Okay. Because I need Samantha's confirmation, because you will be having a lot of work also.
China, sir.
No, sir.
Not like.
Yeah, I'm fine with Saturday, sir.
Okay. So
Yes.
we'll discuss with Royal and see what will be the best timing, like evening 5 or maybe evening 7 o'clock or something. Okay.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a great day, sir.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Sir,
Yes, Rahul.
I wanted to talk to you about like not this topic, sir.
Okay.
Not the
1 minute. Let me stop the recording.
yes, sir. Yes.